Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Black Spinner Music Podcast. And today we're going to start off with a new segment that we're going to try out. And what better way to try it out than with the best band in the world, the Beatles? And what we're going to be talking about the Beatles is that you always hear about double albums, and people say, "Oh, well, that album would have been better if they would have trimmed out the fat, or maybe if it wasn't so long, or if they got rid of some songs." Well, today we're going to talk about the White Album, and each one of us are going to talk about the filler songs that we think are filler. And there is the Esther
Yeah,
Sessions.
the 4 LP edition.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It's got the
Imagine the White
it's
Album
got the
in acoustic. It was amazing the
yeah.
way they did that.
I
So
still have
we're
this up
going.
here in New
I just
Jersey.
got the albums up. I know what songs I'm going to take off.
Okay, cool.
I know them all.
All right, great. So what we're going to do? One panelist is going to go down their whole list, and then the rest of us will talk about those and find out why those were taken out. Starting with us tonight, we got a great panel of great Beatle fans who will not disappoint us tonight. Today we have Charles Trainer from the BS Sessions with Mark, Jerry, and Charles Trainer, and also from the Freeform Rock podcast. It's a great podcast, and everybody is involved in that with Mark and Jerry. And also, we have Al Horta for the Be Cool or Be podcast out, the Martin Scorsese of concerts. He really has a really good website on YouTube. Check it out. You'll be able to see almost any band you want to ever see live, shot by Al himself. Hey Al, did you shoot last night's show by any chance?
I didn't shoot the gun set. No, I just
No.
shot Pretenders and the surprisingly the Andrew Dice Clay when he came out. I didn't even know he was coming out. It was a surprise. And then
Yeah.
I just put my phone on, got his set. The guns. You know what? I taped them like 2 years ago when they came through the same thing, and I put it up, and they took my video down anyway, so I didn't want to
Okay.
even bother with it.
All right.
If anybody wants to see clips, I'm sure there's other clips on YouTube they can see. So I didn't bother with it. I just wanted to enjoy the 3 hour show,
Right.
whatever. So
Yeah, but
I'll let other people handle that one. So
Mark
I was in there.
is
Yeah, I was in
handing
there.
off the others.
Huh?
Yeah, I was in there early enough to see Pretenders, and I caught their set. So they were really good.
Oh,
So
that's
it's up on my channel now already. So if anybody wants to check it out.
I'll check it out. Thank you. And also with us, we have Mark Alden Taylor from the Freeform Rock podcast, America's podcast, as a matter of fact. And also, he is also from the BS Sessions with Mark, Jerry, and Charles Trainer. How's it going, Mark? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, good. Sorry I messed up but I got the album list here.
No,
I misunderstood what you said. And my iPhone didn't have the second album on here, fuckers. I thought it was both on it.
no, but you got it straightened out, so that's fine. Also joining us with us today is Kate. Happy belated birthday, Dore, from the International House of Vinyl and Vinyl Street.
Thank you. Hello.
If you're looking for a vinyl and she can't find it, it's never been made. All right, so we went over the rules and we know what is ahead of us. So let's start off. We'll go with Charles, Al, Mark, and Kate. So go ahead, Charles. What songs would you take off one of the greatest double albums ever made, the Beatles' White Album from 1968?
All right, nothing like pressure to be the first one here. Well, what's left is a 14-track standard EMI Beatles album, and so I'm sure a couple picks will rile a few feathers, but you'll look at what's left, and I think it makes sense, at least to me. First one I'm cutting is Back in the USSR.
Wow.
All right.
Then Wild Honey Pie.
Mhm.
All right.
This is going to rile up maybe Kate right here. While My Guitar Gently Weeps.
Ooh.
But
Jerry's
bear in
sad.
mind, I think the White Album should be made into 2 albums. So actually, what would be left, you could still make another album. So I
Right.
also understand that.
Mhm.
Then Piggies. Then Rocky Raccoon. Don't Pass Me By. Why Don't We Do It in the Road? Julia. Birthday. Long, 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 which is my least favorite song on the album, so it wasn't that hard to do that one. Honey Pie. Revolution number 9, which should never have seen the light of day on any album, period. And Good Night.
Sleep tight. That's such a
Now, a couple of those, a few
Yeah.
of those I would save and put on something else. Some of them I would probably never put out Revolution number 9 or Long, Long, Long. I don't know what it is about Long, Long, Long. I don't like it at all. So
All
you
right.
can look at what I have left. Actually, I'd start the album with Dear Prudence and go from there.
So would you keep the order the same way that you took songs out? I'm just
No,
curious. No.
I changed the track listing too, but
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
start with Dear Prudence and with Oblad Di Oblada would be the last track on the album.
Oh, okay. Huh. Al,
Trying
what
to
do you,
go out with some energy.
yeah. Al, what do you think about Charles' list there? It's quite a lot.
Well, he's all right. So
Yeah.
the way he's approaching it, he's a lot deeper into the Beatles than I ever was or am. The way he's approaching it, yeah, he's approaching it as a splitting the albums up and making, I guess, a cohesive kind of track listing. Even, I guess, he was, like you said, he switched like tracks around to track listing around to, I guess, suit better flow, I guess, to his ears. So yeah, he took a different approach than what I did. There's some surprises there, but again, if he's making it like if he's taking certain songs out, I mean, he's taking out Why My Guitar Gently Weeps and Back in the USSR, and what else did you take out here?
Yeah, man.
Piggies.
What's that?
But you
Birthday.
Birthday, you know.
have that needle and you hear that airplane.
I mean, he got some heavy hitters, so. But he's saying that in the context, he would make it like another album. It would work well in another album. So, I don't know. I guess it's cool the way he's doing it. I'm not really objecting to any of the things that he's taken out. So, I mean, some of them it's like but like again, like I mean, he's leaving a lot of great ones in there too. So
Yeah.
he's making a cohesive album. So I was surprised like he took that many songs. Like originally on our discussion thread, he said, and he said that he was gonna take, I don't know how many songs did you take out? 14,
16.
16. You were making a 14-track
Mm-hmm.
EMI album, right?
What would
Okay.
be a UK
Alright.
pressing?
Yeah.
Right.
A
Classic
UK press.
Beatles release.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I mean it makes sense, I guess, the way he's doing it.
Yeah.
I have no objection. So
Yeah,
although Why My Guitar Gently Weeps, I love that one. Man.
You keep on going back to that. You keep on saying that. It's such a good song.
When is the other album going to be available? I can buy it.
Well, I mean, I left Dear Prudence, Glass Onion, Savoy Truffle, Mother's Nature's Son. I'm so tired. Everybody's. It's very Lennon heavy because I'm a Lennon guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
it is
You
very
should just
Lennon.
divide it between Paul and John and then get rid of the other two.
No, I left Savoy Truffle. I like that song probably a little better than My Guitar Gently Weeps. Prince owns that song now. That's his song now.
What? Why My Guitar Gently? Yeah. True.
That live,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
one of those rare instances where I think a
insane.
tribute cover just kind of owns it now. So,
Mhm.
it's, like Johnny Cash with Her. To me,
Yeah.
so.
Mhm.
But it's a good song. The Savoy Truffle, I think, it's got some kind of different kind of vibe to it, energy. I like the distorted horns on it. And then I messed around with the track listening too. Nate
Because
Helter Skelter open side 2, get fired up with that metal song. So I mean, I left Some good ones. Birthday too. No, that's another weak song. That
Mm-mm.
not a fan. Not a fan of that song.
See, I like that song, man. So that's, but no,
Revolution number 9 though should have never ever seen the light of day on
Mm-mm.
any album. I wouldn't put that on the second album. No way. I think George Martin always said these should have been made as separate albums.
He did.
So,
Mm-hmm.
Man,
so while my guitar gently weeps, can live to see another day.
you know,
the White Album wasn't the first double album, though, was it?
It's their only one
Well, but it wasn't but it wasn't the first double album by any band.
for any
was it?
rock band.
I
Mm,
want to say, even though you
I
can
don't-
go by the dates
don't
that
think
they were
so.
released, it would be Bob Dylan's "Blonde on Blonde" and
Okay.
Frank Zappa's "Freak Out."
Yeah, Freak Out was double, and that's his first album.
Yeah, yeah. His debut album was a
Double album.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
but there's always, you read different publications and there's always disagreements of which one came out first. Why don't you just look at the
Mhm.
date it was released? I mean, it's that simple. Just by the date that they was released. And I think Blonde on Blonde was first, but
okay.
Freak Out was not that far behind. Within months, probably.
That was in '66, right?
Yeah, that was in '66.
Okay.
And Blonde on Blonde is also just a whirlwind ride. I love Blonde on Blonde. But I know what Charles is saying by the tracking of this album. It's a mess. The tracking is a mess. But I love it. It's a beautiful mess, I believe. But really good tracks that you kept and took away, though, Charles. A couple of them that I love. I hate to do this because it'll take stuff away. When I was in high school, when I was introduced to this album, I loved Long, Long, Long. I used to listen to that just constantly, over and over. I don't know why. There's something about that George Harrison song that's so quiet. And then I think after that, it goes into Helter Skelter, or is it before Helter Skelter?
Revolution.
I'm sorry?
Revolution 1.
Okay. But it's sandwiched between that and Helter Skelter, I think.
Helter Skelter's right before Long, Long, Long.
It's before Long, Long, Long.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's got
It's
all
in
that.
the middle.
Then it stops and slows down. What songs will? Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Mark. What do you think about the songs that Charles took out?
What'd you take? You took off Back in the USSR?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck no. Well, that fucking song, like you said, when you put the needle down on the album, you hear that fucking airplane going over,
Yeah.
man. This is one of my favorites, man. I was happy to see Billy Joel do this live. The only time I got to see Billy Joel, that was fucking awesome. And then I would, what else did, Revolution number 9, I agree with you. That song is a fucking abortion. Should have never been on this album. Stay off drugs, John.
Right. He also took out.
Stay away from Yoko, John.
Yeah. What else?
He also took out Rocky Raccoon and Piggies.
Piggies, yeah, I'm good with Piggies being gone. I like Rocky Raccoon. I could see why you would take that off. It's a pretty kiddie song, like kiddish, like you sing in a romper room. But I like it. It's cool, but I could see why he would take it off.
And Julia, the song that inside disc 1 that John had made for his mom. Why'd you take that one out, Charles? Julia.
It's also written in part about Yoko, and I'm not into Yoko tribute song.
Okay.
And no, I just think it is part about Yoko as well. It's not all about his mom.
Okay.
Because I put I Will instead. I think I Will is a better chill song.
Well, I Will is a whole lot better song. Reminds me of it kind of reminds me of the ditty of I'll Follow the Sun off of Beatles for So. It's got that kind of same kind of vibe. Kate, what did you think about these tracks that Charles took out?
I agree with a lot of them because there's 6 of them that are on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my guitar gently weeps. I got to disagree with that, but the rest of them, yeah, I definitely can understand why.
But this is what
it'll be when they get to my list, you'll understand.
Okay, Cool. Al, what's on your list of what you would take out of the White Album?
All right. Well, I just I hadn't listened to the album in a while, so like I revisited it and I listened to the whole thing. And I mean, I joke around like there's like filler on it, um, and there is, but I think like this is one of those instances where filler actually kind of works in the context of the album. Um, that being said, I mean, there's still some songs I'm going to take out of here. Like, I'm going to start Obla D. It's a silly song. I mean, it's not that I hate the song, but it is kind of like a kiddish like sing along. Like somebody like like when my daughter was like 8 or 9, she got into it, which is cool. It's a gateway for kids to get into them, and like so. I mean, I took that one out. I took Wild Honey Pie out. Uh, I took Bungalow Bill out.
Bungalow Bill, I love it.
I took that one out. Although Rush lifted the beginning acoustic part for Love You Strangiato, if you ever listen to them back to back,
Oh,
they
wow.
actually lifted that intro, so you can hear it. But I took that one out. I took Piggies out. I took Rocky Raccoon out. Why Don't We Do It in the Road, and then Revolution 9. I took all those out. And those are the ones. So I took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Took out 7 songs. The rest I really like a lot, And again, I don't hate these songs, but to me, like just taking them out, I guess makes the album a bit stronger. But again, like when I was listening to the album, I don't know, man. The filler songs even like work in the context of the album. So I wouldn't even take out Revolution 9 because I just think it's them throwing in a bit of real avant-garde weirdness that they wanted to do. So it's kind of cool, like when you're just kind of just laying out and listening to it in headphones, like all the bullshit that's going back and forth. It's kind of a cool listen. I guess it's something that you don't listen to all the time, but like when I was listening to it, it was kind of brought me back to when I was a kid, and I was like, damn, this is weird shit, and that wasn't even like a stoner or anything like that. So.
Yeah, but I think Revolution 9 has aged very well.
Well,
It has.
I don't feel like there are strong enough drugs on the planet to enjoy it.
Oh man.
I think it's aged well, but then I've always liked it. It's like a rock collage of sound.
I think John made it just to fuck with the fans.
Half of this album is shit that they were trying to pull off that they knew they were famous enough to fuck with people.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I think he just made it to fuck with us.
There's like quotes of him saying that most of the shit, like especially Glass Onion and different stuff, where it was like all this conspiracy bullshit about Paul being dead. He's like, we literally just made this to mess with people.
It probably influenced Lou Reed to make Metal Machine music or something like that. You know what I mean?
Because a lot of bands came out in the 80s with what they started to call rock noise. With different collages, like Sonic Youth, a bunch of bands like that.
That's a good band.
And you can take it from the beginnings of Revolution 9. Al took out Obla Di Bla Da. That's something that Charles left in. What do y'all think about Obla Di Bla Da being taken out?
I don't agree. I don't think it's a kiddie song. Matter of fact, when I see McCartney, the people lost their fucking shit when Obla Di Obla Da fired up.
Well, it's a hit song.
All together now, I think it's more of a get the kiddies together and clap and have a good time type song. I think Obla D. There's a lot of turmoil behind Obla D Obla Da.
Well, they ripped it off from the Offspring.
I like that kind of polka beat to it, man. I don't know. Call it the Ohio in me. I agree with Wild Honey Pie. That's just an interlude. Like if you cut the fat, you don't need that. Bungalow Bill might be the worst John Lennon song outside of Revolution 9. If you want to count Revolution 9 as a song, which I don't. I don't like Yoko's voice in it. I don't like the chorus. It's annoying.
Yeah,
and so I had
Piggies.
Yeah, I had Piggies, Rocky Raccoon, and Do It in the Road and Revolution 9 too. So I agree with all. I would leave Obla D, but whatever. I cut while my guitar gently weeps. I'm out of my
That's
mind.
brutal,
That's
dude.
insane.
Brutal.
Al,
I'm
did
amazed.
you take out Revolution 9?
I did take it out. Yeah, I did.
Okay. Okay, I didn't catch that.
Still, I mean, even though like I listened to the whole album, and
Yeah.
when I came to that song, it still was like, all right, they want to throw a bit of weirdness in here, and in the context of the whole album, it still kind of works for me. But I guess if I'm going to cut it, I'm going to cut something that's going to get cut, definitely. So it's like 8 or 9 minutes of just fucking random shit,
What
backwards.
about Mark? He took Bungalow Bill, something that Charles didn't take out.
No, I did.
He did
Did
take
you?
out Bungalow
Yes,
Bill.
I did. Believe
Oh,
me.
okay. I guess I
Yeah.
missed that one. Okay. So what do
He
you
just
think
called
about
it
the ones
dominant.
that Al
He just
took
called
out?
it dominant.
About
Second
what?
worst.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, Al took out Obladi Balada.
Yeah,
Wild Honey.
I
Wild
wanted
Honey
to
Pop.
taken out. I wanted to taken out Oblit. That's a fun song, man. That's a song. Just want to sit there and smoke a joint and listen to it. So I disagree with that one. But the Rocky Raccoon one is the Kitty song on the album. So,
That's another
A
one.
shitty
Yeah.
song where someone gets shot. Okay.
well, the feeling of it, not the lyrics.
the vibe of it, I guess.
Yeah, the
Like,
vibe.
I think the vibe
melody of it seems like a kid's song.
Yeah.
to me it sounds like a saloon song from the 1800s from the old
That's
west,
what I think of.
and it
more.
tells that story. I mean, that's what I always picture in my head is the saloon, and
He's walking through those double
yeah, and Daniel was hot.
That's
He
what I
was
think
first
too.
and shot.
I
and
gotta
walked
send you this
collapsed
cartoon
into
that
the
someone
corner.
made because it's what we're talking about.
Yeah, and of course, the music is a little, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit of pre-country, like maybe dance hall country, if you will. Kate, what do you think about Al's picks here?
I agree with quite a few of them, but
Check 'em out.
oblada, can't cut that.
Yeah.
I
You
won't
know-
allow it.
The great
You
thing
know
about Obladi Blada is that it's got that beat, but also tells a story about a married couple and how they
I think
run
it's just a sweet,
their life together.
it's a sweet
I
song,
guess-
and I'm the ballad hater, and I don't count this as a ballad, but
No, it's not.
usually I'm not too into like romantic cutesy songs, but this one is sweet,
Ah.
and I like
I
that it's
figured-
like it's
I
more
figured
like a
that-
ska song, so I like that like reference to ska music that you have in it and the beat to it, so I dig this one. I've always
I
liked
figured
this
that was
one.
going to be my contrarian pick in this
Yeah.
one. So. But
That's why you don't like extreme, the sweet love songs. I get it now. All right.
And yeah, all those sweet love
They had
songs.
one. All right, go ahead.
But that was a lot of the songs on here. Lennon says he's just trying to be contrarian, and like you can hear it,
Yeah.
you can hear it a lot.
And when you pick out the songs of who does what, you could tell that there was already a wedge coming between Paul and John because they're completely different songs.
Oh,
But this
man.
wasn't the last album they recorded, was it?
No.
That was Let It Be, wasn't
They had Abbey Road, they had Let It Be.
Abbey
but there's
Road.
like
Abbey Road. Yeah.
you can hear a lot of contention, and when I was looking at stuff, I have like 3 pages of notes about this shit because that's how I do. But there's only 16 songs out of the 30 have all 4 members on it. And, like there's
Wow.
so much contention and crazy shit going on between this, and like any of the sweet songs that Paul wrote, John called them granny shit. So he hated Obladi Oblada. He hated a bunch of other songs that are on here. And then you can hear his weird stuff, like when he starts getting into this very like avant-garde, bizarre stuff that he's doing, and Paul didn't like that, obviously. So there's a lot of tracks that not all 4 Beatles are on. There was so much shit going on, and Paul was being mean to Ringo. Ringo quit for like 4 weeks, and it's Paul drumming on Dear Prudence and Bungalow Bill. Or no. Dear Prudence and Back in the USSR. Paul's drumming and Ringo's gone.
I've read
So
where
it's wild to think
I've read
about
on Prudence that there was possibly composite drumming, that George might have played some drums too, and John
Maybe, yeah.
actually
Or if
it's
he was
not,
doing
but-
like bongos or something, I don't know.
Yeah.
Break out
back in
that
the
book on your
USSR.
phone.
Back in the USSR is completely Paul on the drums, but I've
Yeah,
heard
it's
there's
pretty
a chance
wild.
that there was composite drumming on that. But yeah, definitely. And then George had the flowers on
I
the
read
drums.
that too. I thought that was sweet. Yeah.
But the Obla Di Obla Da, what's really cool is if you listen to the anthology version, and they had that lame version on there on 3. And Lennon went down to a pub, apparently, drank a few pints, came back, sat right down at the piano, and said, "This is how we're gonna fucking do it," and banged out that dun 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 dun
A little faster.
from there. So there was collaboration still, even though it was definitely contentious.
They wanted to get along. There's like a bunch of stuff about them talking about after they broke up. Like when they were playing and actually playing, not like bickering and all the bullshit. When they were jamming and trying to get it down, they said that they got along great without any drama. It's all the other putting everything together, allegedly, that's where the drama comes in.
Yeah, but then you got Yoko Ono in a hospital bed,
Uh,
laying there, trying to give direction.
well, and this was
And
like,
stuff like that.
nobody originally, none of the spouses or anyone were supposed to be there when they were recording, and this is the first album
Yeah.
they did after Brian Epstein dies,
Yep.
and then they do have their spouses and like different people coming in and out of the studio and stuff, and I think that just really like obviously like puts a damper on their foursome of like
On their
getting shit done
Yeah.
and how they interact with each other, because you can imagine like somebody being that pee-whipped and she's there 24/7 like
Yeah.
on his back, and he can't even decide his own or represent himself in the same way he would.
Yeah,
You
and
know.
also the is Bungalow Bill the only track with a outside vocal? Is that right?
The album?
I
Yeah.
mean, besides like all the Revolution 9 shit with all the different voices and things, but that's a lot of just like audio clip stuff. It's not.
Right.
But-
Right. That was just sound.
Yeah, the
was just
screechy
a
voice
sound
on
file.
Bungalow Bill is Yoko.
And I wonder if I'm pretty sure Preston sang backing vocals somewhere on Let It Be. He had to have, given some kind of vocals
Yeah.
while he was
Oh
playing.
yeah, when he was doing that, I'm sure he has. And there's so many like, once they started doing, part of this is 4-track and part of this is 8-track, and then when they were doing the overdubs and things, there's other people on those, and especially like the clap tracks and different things that they have mixed in.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of other people around.
Damn.
Okay.
There it is.
Mark, what are the songs that you consider filler on the White Album?
Okay, let me bring it up. Okay, I would start with Wild Honey Pie, the continuing story of Bungalow Bill. I can't stand Yoko Ono, and it's like, you ever seen that movie Dumb and Dumber? When when Jim Carrey goes, "You want to hear the most annoying sound ever?" He goes, "Ah!" No, he should have played a tape of Yoko Ono. That would have been funnier, and that would have been the truth. I know I would take out Martha, My Dear, Piggies, freaking Don't Pass Me By doesn't kind of fit the album, but I like it, so I'd take that out. I Will, Julia, Birthday I would take out too, even though I do love that song. Sexy Sadie, Long. Revolution and Revolution number 9 I'd both take out because I like the other version of Revolution better. This one is way slower. And I would also what's the other one? I had it right here. Good Night. I hate Good Night and Honey Pie. I got a lot of songs I took out.
Yeah.
Many songs that. Like,
What did you say after I Will? I think I had a little heart attack. And came
Good
back.
Night.
Julia.
Julia and Good Night.
Okay.
And both Revolutions.
Yeah, I got that.
Because I like the other version of Revolution they did as a single.
Yeah.
So
On the
much
first time
better.
I got the White Album, I was like, oh wow, Revolution's on here. When I put it on, I was like, I was kind of disappointed.
Wasn't it disappointed? It disappointed me. I don't want to hear that anymore. It's a bad memory.
Yeah.
This isn't
I
the version I heard.
wanted Revolution that I'm used to listening to,
Mhm.
and then you got this bop shua bop shua. Imagine if the single was on here. Wow, that would have been a big big
I
difference.
think that's the only song they did that with, because usually when they dropped a single, it wasn't on the album. Like
Right.
when they would drop a single versus now
Yeah.
stuff, whatever.
Drive My Car also.
But I 100% agree with the single of Revolution
What
being
album did they put
way
the
better.
Faster Revolution on?
It was a single.
It's just a
It was
single.
on
It
what
dropped
was
as
it
a
like
single in like
B
August,
side to Hey
maybe.
Jude?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hey Jude and that dropped as a single, and then this album comes out in November. But
It was
that
on
Revolution's
Taskmaster.
the only one. Past Masters and the anthologies and
And the
the red and
definitive
blue, the
version's on
years, the red and blue sets.
yeah, the
It's on the
definitive
blue
one's
set.
on Beatles Love though. They actually cleaned the stereo production on
Oh,
it, so
shit,
you
now I
don't
need to
get
get
Yeah.
the deal. So that's makes Beatles Love
Mhm.
worth getting alone. That you have a proper stereo mix of Revolution.
Mhm.
Giles Martin, the best in the business. I
Oh,
keep
yeah.
saying
Oh, he's so good.
that album you pulled up, Al, was
Oh,
done
thank
by
you.
Giles Martin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's nobody does better than him. But I Will is gonna go away.
Yeah.
I Will.
It's kind of boring to me.
That's one of the sweetest.
You're a
So
you're,
good.
you
I'm
don't
the
like that.
ballad hater.
You're the
and
ballad
I
girl.
love
There you
I
go,
Will.
Andy,
I
yep.
Will is so good.
I
You know,
wanted it more rock in this album, so
The
I just
Beatles,
basically
Yeah.
left all the
Beatles
rock
Love
parts.
one had to grow on me though. I didn't
Yeah.
really like it at first, but as I listened to it more, I really started to like
It's
it.
good.
It's a really
They did
good,
a really
like,
good
Megadeth.
job.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I was really surprised because I thought it was just going to be another compilation. But then, I
No,
mean,
it's
in the
interesting.
beginning, you can hear the way that they were sticking everything together and how it flows, how they turned these songs that we're so used to hearing, turning them weird and fresh and new. It was really something.
The
Now
show
I
the
love
show
the
is
While My
phenomenal.
Guitar Gently Weeps on that.
on
No,
that.
Yeah,
love it.
If you
especially
can go to
with the
Vegas, you have to
Albert
see that
Vernon.
show.
The
Did
shows
you guys
were
ever see
The show is
Beatlemania?
amazing.
See what?
No.
Beatlemania.
Mhm.
They were like one of the first Beatle cover groups.
No.
No.
Yeah, they have them out here at Knott's Berry Farm in their little arena there. But they went out and toured and stuff, and they were awesome because they started from the beginning.
Mhm.
They dressed like them, and they kept going
Yeah.
up till Sergeant Pepper look, and then
Mhm.
White Album look.
Throughout.
It was cool. It went through. It's like Rush did during that
Yeah.
tour, the 40th, where they started. They just kept changing to what they looked like at the end. It was awesome.
That's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I saw Rain. Rain's another big one, and they did that they go through every incarnation and they do all the costumes throughout the whole thing. That was
It's
cool.
awesome.
Oh,
Mhm.
Mark put Sexy Sadie on here the first time that showed
yeah.
up.
I don't like that song.
on here.
I get disliking that. That's a weird.
It's
and they
weird.
said it's like it's about the Maharishi they were hanging out
Yeah.
with. That was like his nickname, and I'm like, what? That was his nickname. That who gave it? John, I think, gave him the nickname, and I was like, what
Well,
is weird?
I read he changed it to because he was scared that Maharishi really had cosmic powers, and that's why he changed it to Sexy Sadie. So I mean, it depends on the source
Maybe.
and where you read it from.
You gotta
But the
think
way-
about how many
Cosmic
songs
powers.
they wrote there, because they wrote 40 songs there when they were staying there. Rishikesh, India.
And
Yeah,
then
I don't know.
think George liked
That's
it as much
wild.
because even though it was his idea, all these other big stars went along with them, and it's not what George wanted.
Well, I think didn't they figure out he was a fraud? One of them.
No,
the
it
main-
wasn't a fraud thing. It was he got accused of being inappropriate towards all the ladies staying
Yeah.
there in meditation. And then I think it was like Harrison's wife, like Patty Boyd, first came out about it and was like, he was not. But that was some big to do that he was accused of being
Yeah.
like a
And Mia
creepo.
Farrow, I think, too, and her sister.
That's
was
yeah,
the
Mia
shooter.
Farrow, because that's Prudence is about Mia Farrow's sister,
Right.
and that was somebody else that came out in his defense that he wasn't like molesting all these women with the power of being the Maharishi or whatever. I don't know. So
Just think if they had Twitter back then with the Beatles.
any of these dudes, think of any of these dudes at that time that all it comes out later that like the Beatles don't really have the like groomer stuff, but imagine like, yeah, I don't even
Yeah.
know, man. Yeah, there's a lot of shady shit that went on in the 60s and 70s with creepers.
Yeah, a lot
but-
of shady stuff that happened that we probably don't know about, that they kept it under wraps within their band.
Mhm.
You know, they did not divulge all kinds of
Or
stuff
like
like going
especially
on
their
with bands
press
right now.
managers and stuff like didn't even want people to know that any of the Beatles were married.
But married. I mean,
They
some.
needed to look available for all the little tweens and stuff, which is weird. But
Uh,
they I don't know, you think with all the like stuff that was against them religious people that they would end up coming out and be like they're married, they're straight laced, they're and that for a long time that wasn't happening. It was supposed to be that they're single, they weren't allowed to wear wedding rings, they I don't know, it's
They
such a
and
weird
their
thing to think about.
families.
Yeah, they had to hide everything. So
Well, it
Yeah.
affects the bottom line.
yeah, it does. They need
mhm.
those teeny
Girls,
boppers buying records.
yeah, they might
Mhm.
stop buying those records.
Mhm.
Move on to Herman and the Hermits.
It's
And
wild.
another song that came out for the first time, which was kind of shocking, was "I Will," and Mark
Yeah,
said it's a boring track.
boring.
I think it's a nice little ditty on his part.
That's fine,
It's
man.
a
Enjoy
sweet
it.
song.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm trendy, not picking that track. So I'm the trendy one here, picking that one.
and
It's sexy Sadie. He sings it so well. And it's one of Lennon's.
I'm trendy again, man. I'm calling myself out as being trendy there.
He's trying to be the contrarian now.
and what do y'all
No, I'm
think of
trendy.
taking out "Martha, My Dear"? That's the first time that song came out as well.
That song sucks, Mark. My dear. Fuck that song. It's fucking boring as fuck. It's like I
Piano
want to
on
hear
it's so
some
good.
rockin' Beatles, man. They got me with all fucking with back in the USSR, and then it goes to fucking Julia and I Will and Dear Prudence is fucking amazing. I never take that song off,
Yeah,
but it's like it's all over the place. But a lot of it's good, but a lot of it you could take off. It's just go make a bonus track album.
what do you think about the omittance of "Martha, My Dear"?
I like that song, actually. So, um, I don't know why. I mean, it's just a taste
Yeah,
thing, I guess. So, I like McCartney's vocal on it, and I don't know. For my personal taste, I would never take that one out.
yeah,
Whatever, man.
yeah.
He
I'm
seems
Yeah,
like he's going back to the 1920s, like a honey pie. It's
I
like
could go.
I don't
I
want to hear
could go.
1920s.
Now you're talking about Honey Pie. He's talking about Martha, my dear.
Martha, my dear, it's the vocal style he's singing on that.
That's
song
all
too.
Paul on that track.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Yeah,
That's the stuff
Honey
Lennon
pie.
called granny shit.
Yeah,
Granny
I
shit.
cut Honey Pie, but I do enjoy Honey Pie. I would definitely save that for another
Well,
album.
that would
It
be a great song for Queen.
was like the third ragtime song they did in a row. I mean, they had they Paul had kind of wore that out. That's the only reason why I would have cut that at that
yeah.
time. But on a follow up, definitely would have kept it.
But
And
it's
Martha, my dear.
It's weird. I don't like Honey Pie, but I like Seaside Afternoon by Queen. So maybe Queen could have done Honey Pie better. That's just my thoughts.
What I like about Martha, it took me a while because every time I heard "Martha, My Dear," I said, "Those lyrics are kind of weird the way that he's talking about Martha." But then when you find out it was dedicated to his
It's
dog,
his dog.
you're like, "Oh, okay, now I get the words of why they're like that." It's a beautiful dog too because they've taken pictures with Martha, that big gray and white dog that Paul had. I think
Big
that's
English
Martha.
sheepdog.
Sheepdog, yeah.
Yeah.
Paul likes writing songs about pets. Jet.
All right, Kate, it's up to you. What songs would you take out?
Okay, so my thoughts on this, because George Martin wanted this to be two separate albums and put all the trash tracks on a B-side or have it be two, like, obviously it should be two different albums. And that's what I did. I split it up and put it in the order that I think it should be. And there's a quote from Ringo saying later that he said he agreed it should be two separate albums. It should be the White Album and the Whiter Album, which I set that up. But the 6 I'd take, I have 6 because I was thinking I'd make it into two separate U.S. pressings, which is the 12 tracks a piece. But the Savoy Truffle, not my jam. Could it go back on an album if I did a 14 a piece? Sure, I would put it back on. Wild Honey Pie, can't stand it. That one, I don't know why. That song just annoys me. And it's one that I put it on and it's like, and I'm like, oh, I have to skip it. If I'm listening to vinyl, I don't skip it. And that's the same with Revolution number 9. If it's on a record, I'm not going to jump it. But sure as shit, if I'm streaming, it's gone. And that's my next one, Revolution number 9, the musical equivalent of waterboarding. It is horrendous. I can't stand it. I could never do enough drugs and survive to understand or appreciate it. And this is another concoction of Yoko. Ugh, I don't know. Yeah, everyone hates it. Well, you don't hate. Andy likes it,
I
and
don't.
Al seemed okay with it.
Yeah.
I
Used at
can't do it.
Guantanamo Bay, I
Like,
believe.
I don't mind.
Terrorists.
I guess I don't mind when bands experiment. You know, I mean, it's I don't know.
Yeah,
Like,
I understand now.
I'm getting that weird robot thing, and I don't know if it's my end that everybody's kind of freezing up, so I assume it's my end if everybody's freezing, but I'll keep going. My next one I ditch, Birthday. I think Birthday stinks. I don't like it.
Wow.
It's fine as a like fun Beatles throwaway. I think it definitely should have been a single and not on an album, but what do I know? They're the ones making millions and millions of dollars and having a 24 times platinum record for this record. So, whatever. Honey Pie, gone. It's cute. It's fine. I think if I had to add it back and have 2 LPs of 14 songs like a regular UK drop, I would add Honey Pie back. Piggies, gone. Piggies I could add back. I cannot add back Wild Honey Pie or Revolution number 9. Those both gotta. But that's my 12. If I did my 12, I did my White Album and my Whiter Album. My Whiter Album is all the whiter people sounding songs. And that's all the stuff Lennon called granny shit. My track listing on those would be Obla Di Obla Da, Don't Pass Me By, Rocky Raccoon, Cry Baby Cry, I Will, Blackbird, Dear Prudence, Long Long Long, Julia, Martha My Dear, Mother Nature's Son, and end it with Good Night, which I think is fine. I didn't mind how it ends. Yeah. Good Night, they did, Lennon wrote it for his son, Julian, and wanted Ringo to sing it, so I thought that was sweet.
I think Ringo really pulled off that song.
Yeah, I like his like weird
His
Ringo
voice.
whispery. I said I'd split these. The Whiter Album's like a folk indie, maybe kind of experimental on a couple tracks, and then my White Album would be psych, proto metal, experimental blues would be what I would call the White Album, and that's how I split it. So my White Album, I did Your Blues, Sexy Sadie, Back in the USSR, Continuing Story of Bungalow Bill, which Bungalow Bill is kind of on my list, but it beat out Savoy Truffle. And then I like how weird it sounds because I like that style that they were trying to achieve and like the time period they were trying to achieve, and thinking of someone like his elephant hunting gun, and it's like the way I thought of it was that like all the English when they were invading India and they're going in and hunting, and yeah, not great things were happening when they were invading India. Didn't exactly work out great for actual Indian people, but disregard. My next one, Everybody's Got Something to Hide, which ridiculous lyrics. The song, I think instrumentally great. I think if they left off Me and My Monkey part, which they originally were, and then they added it in, and I'm like,
I wonder who Monkey is. Is Monkey Yoko?
That was a expression the Maharishi used.
Yeah,
they added the monkey though.
He added that because the Maharishi stuff.
Wow. Okay.
I feel
maybe
like
a
if it was
proto
just
metal riff there too. Proto
I
thrash.
love the instrumentals on it. I feel like
yeah,
if it was just Everybody's Got Something to Hide, and stick with that, it'd be great. It's almost one that was on my mark of almost cutting it, but it stayed because I do really like it. Yes, get rid of that. The rest of it's great. Happiness is Warm Gun, Helter Skelter, Why Don't We Do It in the Road, which is another weird one that I kind of had on the mark. Glass Onion, I kind of was like, but I think if you're doing a psych blues experimental, then you do have to keep those on there. So that was my brain. And on my White Album, I put the single Revolution, not Revolution 1. I don't like that slow shit. I like
Yeah.
the single one. I like the fast one. This one ends out with While My Guitar Gently Weeps, and I ended this one with another tired one, and I did I'm So Tired. Have it lully out. So that's my rundown of my 2 albums, but I know this one's a hard one to decide what to cut and what to keep, because I probably could have technically cut maybe 8 songs, but I thought my idea of keeping it to 2 separate albums, I'd stick with the 12 track if it was US releases.
Yeah.
But Andy,
Well,
or
that-
we can go round robin. I feel like we covered all those songs, but go.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we need to do this differently the next time we do this because we're going over the same songs.
Well, I did disagree about Savoy Truffle. I think it's a good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Well, nobody's picked Revolution yet.
what do you mean
I didn't drop
pick it?
that. I just wanted mine to be the single version instead
I didn't
of.
drop Revolution.
I know.
dropped
I said I'm the
Revolution.
only one who dropped Revolution.
Revolution 1. Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
I like elements of the acoustic though that I like if you watch the David Frost faux live version, which is live singing over tape music. They put the shooby dooby and all that in there. I kind of like that
Mhm,
shooby dooby.
Well, and that, like, especially, I went through,
no,
obviously. I listened to this like 5 times all the way through, and then listening to the Escher demos, and you hear it on the Escher demos. That if you haven't listened to those, you need to listen to them. Not everybody probably has, like any listeners or whatever, but it's worth your time, and you hear where they're going with it, and then that being really limited in what they could do, because they're obviously not at a studio. The Escher demos are all at George Harrison and Patty Boyd's house. Kinfaus. It's the Escher demos, and it's in Surrey, England. But that, like, it's cool hearing it the way they were getting to it. I really like that, and that's what I really liked about watching, like, Get Back, and you're hearing it where they're getting to where they're going. So I think the Escher demos are a really cool way to listen to it. And even there's a few tracks that I'm like, I like the Escher demo better than the actual thing they put out. And that's, that's a lot. There's quite a few songs that they do just acoustic.
Yep.
And that's interesting. And that's like the 40 songs that were written all in Rishikesh, India. They're doing, the only Western instrument they had was a regular acoustic guitar. Everything else. Yeah. And then when they do the Escher demos and they're just at George's house and it's an old stone house in, BFE England, they have it nailed down pretty well. It's pretty amazing what they could get down as just a practice run.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's a couple of songs that all of y'all kind of took out that I really love, which is let me see here. I wrote down everything. Well, like one of the songs I've always liked was Rocky Raccoon. I would never take that out. But also Don't Pass Me By Ringo. I think that's one of the best Ringo songs that he's ever made. I really love Don't Pass Me By, even though it's kind of weird. You lost your hair. I don't understand that. You were a car crash and you lost your hair. So
Allegedly part of the Paul is Dead.
Is it?
Clues, allegedly. Yeah. Okay. I don't believe that, the Paul Dead stuff, but yeah, it's supposedly.
Did you ever see that Netflix thing about Paul is Dead?
George Harrison's Last Will and Testament with the obvious not George talking on it. Yeah. That was in there. It was cool, but they messed up a lot of song credits and said it's a mess. It was a hoax started in Iowa. But
did you listen to that Dana Gould hour that I sent you?
Yeah, but it's
I'll
still
send it to you guys. It's
stuff.
cool because that blame a dude from Detroit and then it goes to New York and then it goes to the world about.
Yeah. But
I'll send you guys this thing. I really like this he's a stand-up, but he's a big writer too, Dana Gould. He wrote for The Simpsons and a bunch of other shows, but his
just think if Paul was dead
did a thing about it.
After he supposedly died and he left the Beatles, right? He made great albums So if that's not Paul McCartney, I don't know
That's
who the
Fall.
fuck that is.
Don't you listen?
It's
It's
Paul,
not-
but it
it's
doesn't make
Paul's
sense because.
Paul.
So did the original Paul write all those songs and he took them later?
There was like a whole thing that like MK6 couldn't let them be ruined because it was bringing so much money to the UK. So that like they went in and found a guy. They had like a Paul lookalike contest. You have to listen to this Dana Gould thing's
Yeah.
a trip.
Interesting.
But I've fallen down a couple rabbit holes looking at stuff on YouTube about fall, and I don't know. It's funny how people are. I mean, one of the most famous bands in the whole world. Obviously, there's going to be so much lore about them and it's surrounding them forever.
Well, some of it too is from, if you look at the Paperback Rider video, and
Mm-hmm.
Paul has a tooth chipped off and a scar and problem with his lip. He had wrecked a moped
Mm-hmm.
on either Christmas or Boxing Day or one of those two. So that was part of that. Supposedly that was Billy Shears, which was another one of the clues. His name was Billy Campbell, and that was part of the plastic surgery at the time. And the extensive plastic surgery the guy did to become Paul McCartney.
Do you think they could have did that great a plastic surgery back then? Because they can't do it now. You see all those women that look like aliens now. So I don't think so.
It's nonsense story, but it's funny. But Andy lost she lost her head or hair or whatever.
Yeah.
That's supposedly another clue.
They
Glass
didn't have the
onion.
technology they have now. There's no way they could have made him look like Paul. No way.
Glass Onions got clues in it allegedly. The whole the walrus was Paul. 28 if on the license plate on the front of the Abbey Road.
Yeah. I heard that. That was really funny.
Paul walking in bare feet on the Abbey Road cover because he buried bodies with no shoes, allegedly.
Yeah.
And that,
There was something about like the
George was the
direction they're
Undertaker.
pointing because when
Yeah.
you bury people, their heads to the east, and it's like, oh, the direction they were going would have been.
and they were out
Like-
of step. Paul was
Yeah,
out of
yeah, yeah.
step with everybody else.
They had a
It
bunch
was-
of goofy stuff, and then it's like the real thing is that he was wearing flip flops and he was getting like jacked up, so you had to take his flip flops off. But
And
there's so many funny things that people make up about it.
that the cover of Sergeant Pepper is a fresh grave in the front
Yeah.
with all the flowers and stuff like that.
Mhm,
There's
mhm.
also other clues.
Well, and that's when it's like the walrus was Paul, and they have he's wearing the mask on Magical Mystery. They're like, oh, he's obviously dead.
Yeah, because Magical Mystery Tour was the first album cover where you don't see any of their faces. They're all wearing masks.
Mhm.
They're all in costume. And then comes the White Album where there's nothing on the cover.
Nothing. I know.
You know.
Well, and it's so funny how they did the albums where you have like Sergeant Pepper
You know what?
compared to this, and like Sergeant Pepper's so colorful and so much going on, and then they throw out White Album where it's just that stark cover, but it's one of the most famous album covers of all time. EMI did not want that. They were not happy about that.
Hey, you can't even see it in the camera. Look at it. You can't. It's just two white blobs.
That's why I
squares,
put up
you
my
know?
Escher demo so you can
Yeah.
see the guys. But
I have
don't
that
know,
on
it's
CD.
funny.
It's right there. I should have opened it up.
It's so good.
Yeah.
So
Paul,
good.
Paul is dead, man. Miss him.
Miss
Yeah,
him, miss
that's
him,
another
miss him.
one.
I know. Oh my god.
I think this Beatles album called the Beatles Ballads, I think that this was supposed to be the actual.
That's what they wanted for White Album. And it
Yeah.
had a different name. It was, what was it, Playing House or
It was
What the heck was it called?
It was going to be called the Doll's House.
A Doll's House, and another band. What was the other band dropped like a few months before
Family.
that was going to drop? Yep.
It was Family was the name of
And
that
then
band.
I think that one's called Playing in a Doll's House or something like that.
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
that, and then they
That
changed
one's
the
cool.
album
I
cover.
love the art on that one.
Yeah, it's pretty weird because if you really look close to it, they kind of have like whiskers and they have different
Yeah.
animals, and of course,
Yeah.
if you look more closely, Yoko Ono is right there, like on a butt
Ooh.
on
Sorry.
Her and her witch
on
hair.
as well. So that would have been weird if they would have used this album cover instead of the iconic White Album that has been copied and copied so
When
many
they
times.
had the White Album covers, Richard Harrison. Yeah, Richard Harrison.
Mhm.
And that one's just a really popular pop artist at the time.
Yeah.
And then it says all the photographs when you have that fold out in it. All the photographs were done by John Kelly.
Yeah, it's a very interesting package of everything that came in the White Album at that time for 1968 with those four
Yeah.
with those four photos.
It's hard if you find an OG and you have one that actually has those.
Yeah.
Or if you get one that's actually like the OG white vinyl drop with those four, it's worth some money.
And also the big
Yeah.
poster that it came with.
Yeah, they have that in the Escher demo set, that fold out.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
that on
Yeah.
on one of them.
Yeah, they did a repress of that fold out, so that's
Yeah.
in there, which is cool.
Okay.
But they don't give you those pictures in that, which is
Nuh-uh.
funny.
The only thing that sucks is
Yeah.
that it's kind of ripped on top.
Oh,
So
yeah.
old. I think it's. Oh wait, there's a poster too.
Yeah, that's the big poster that we're
Yeah,
talking
that's a big
about.
poster with the lyrics on the back. I
Yeah.
think.
Mhm.
I have that too.
Mhm. That's a
Yeah,
nice
that's pretty
setup. Yeah.
So the songs that I would omit, let me see here. I would take out "Why Don't We Do It on the Road."
Mhm.
I do like the bass work on that. I think it's pretty cool, but
Mhm.
I just don't want that song on there. And "Birthday," I thought "Birthday" was more of a, it's cool to play for someone's birthday, but not to have it on an album. Mother Nature's Son, I would take out.
Oh,
And the reason why I would take that out is that there's already enough acoustic numbers by Lennon.
Mhm.
Blackbird was the supreme one. That was enough for me. I Will, and then that one, and kind of sounded like in the same key. So I'll take out Mother Nature's Son. I would take off Revolution 1 of the reasons why we talked about before. I would rather have the single version of Revolution. Savoy Truffle, I would take out as well. I thought it was a silly song.
Mhm.
Good Night, I would take out as well. I know that I said that I liked it, but still, I would take it out. It's a little schmaltzy for me.
Mhm.
And Sexy Sadie, I would take out. I almost kept it on there, but Sexy Sadie, I added at work today. I was listening to it. I could do without. I absolutely love Wild Honey Pie. I love it. I like that. And the stomping of the drums. Honey Pie. It just sounds so cool to go on right after
Obladi.
I thought it came on. Yeah,
right before Bungalow Bill.
Yeah, and then it goes into Bungalow Bill, which I love Bungalow Bill. I like the story that goes behind it. In case of accidents, he always brought his mom. It's like just such weird imagery.
But the most annoying noise was at the end of that rap song.
I like they wrote that allegedly what was the guy's name? I don't know where I wrote it, but that was written about a guy that was in meditation with them, and he left to go hunting and kill animals. It's like you're in India at this peaceful meditation and learning how to be better about your life and the world, and then you're like, screw this, I'm gonna go murder shit.
And a place where they hold certain animals sacred.
Yeah, especially tigers and stuff. So that's why John wrote that. I do really like the style of it. I think it is like a goofier song. I definitely can see where people dislike it because it's an acquired taste song, but I like that style, making it sound old.
Yeah. So is there anything else y'all want to add about the White Album? I think we covered. I know that a lot of y'all took out Piggies. I absolutely love Piggies. I don't know why.
I think Piggies as a single would have been fine.
There's just something about the Harrison tracks that are on here. I think Harrison kind of stretched out a little bit too much with Savoy Truffle. I think because he always has 2 tracks on each album, except for a Revolver, he got 3. And did he only have 1 on Sgt. Pepper, Within and Without You?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only
and
one.
It rules.
Huh?
Yeah, enjoy it. You and you trendy Eric RMCP Jordan. You guys are both trendy on that song.
Kate.
Okay, whatever.
And I really learned to love that song within and without you. I think it's
Ah,
a
man.
I
Yeah.
think it's one of those you keep listening to. You'll get it eventually. It'll hit
I
you.
tried, and it just makes me want to kill myself every time I hear it.
Do
Really?
more
Wow.
drugs.
It's that bad. It's oh no.
I
It's
love
deep.
that song, but I
It's
like
so
his
deep.
weirder shit. Like, I don't know.
That's like You like psychedelic stuff. I'm not
Yeah,
really.
I'm a huge
That's too much
psych person.
psychedelic for me, man.
Yeah. No, I
Al,
get it. That's it's a weirder one.
Al, so you took out Rocky Raccoon. Why is that?
I don't know, man. I just never really that song never really connected with me, man.
Oh,
I don't know, man. It's just I just don't like it, man.
okay.
You know,
I like the
don't
way,
like.
her name was McGill. She called herself Mill, but everyone
It's
knew her as Nancy.
goofy. Yeah, that's goofy lyrics.
Yeah.
I get it. I like weird crap, so I like it. But I get where people don't like
Well, I
it. 'Cause
like
it's
weird
just the
shit too, man.
lyrics.
Oh, I like weird shit too. You know.
The
God.
lyrics get goofy though, but I get why people are like, Rocky Raccoon.
I
Yeah.
don't. I like
What?
good shit.
Yeah. Keep telling yourself that, Charles.
I know. I picked
I
the
like-
right one. Hey,
I
nobody
like Rocky
picked.
Raccoon.
Nobody picked "Happiness Is a Warm Gun" to delete. And that's
Well,
probably
that song
tracks
rules.
No,
in there.
we need to
Yeah.
go back through and see what everyone kept.
Yeah. So everybody
But
kept
yeah,
Happiness is
so
a Warm
good.
Gun. Everybody kept Helter Skelter.
Mm-hmm. Your
Everybody,
Blues. Everybody kept Cry Baby Cry. Did anyone get rid of that?
nobody got rid of that,
Yeah.
and it's kind of on a teeter for me. Cry Baby.
Everybody
Cry, but
kept
then again,
Blackbird.
Yeah.
Everybody kept Blackbird.
Blackbird
Everybody kept-
rules.
Yeah,
I
Blackbird's a
love
beautiful
Blackbird.
song.
That's a
Like,
classic,
yeah.
man.
I've
Ridiculous,
always loved that
beautiful,
song.
short, beautiful song.
Also, Your Blues. Everybody kept Your Blues.
Your Blues is like their
That's
best rock
that's
song, I think.
that's riffing madness
one,
on that
like,
song, man.
His voice in that, and it's, oh man. We always talk, Charles and
one
I
of
always
these
do this
band
where we're
tracks.
like, John's shredded voice. I just love when he gets
Yeah.
like, when
And
it's
Andy picked that last night for the show. Your
like
blues.
so many takes and you can hear it. I love when they keep that one.
And one of the few tracks the whole band played on.
Mm-hmm.
which
Oh,
they
really?
did
It
this
was
year
a
with
big. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Helter
it's like I said, it's
Skelter.
only 16 out of 30 songs has everyone on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Helter Skelter. Everybody
Helter
kept.
Skelter kills it. I mean, that's the proto metal when I said what my one would be, where it's like blues, psych, proto metal, and it's.
Yeah, talk to Ozzy and Geezer about that song.
By hearing everybody's
I
got
count
something to
it.
hide except me and my monkey too. There's elements of that riff
That
Yeah.
song,
that's got
the
like a
instrumental
thrash
of it, and like
beat to it.
even the singing on it, I love it. And if they would have just left off and me and my monkey,
I like that part. It's me
No,
and my monkey. I like that part.
Oh no!
And also another song that I was kind of iffy about, but it's just a total Lennon song that nobody took out was "I'm Tired," which
That's
is
a
kind
great
of
song.
hidden.
I love. I'm so tired.
That's
my
emotional,
favorite
man.
end of the night. I'll have another cigarette. I can't tell you how many times I've been in that mindset. You're exhausted, but you're just hanging on. You have one more cigarette, another drink. Yeah.
And it's really
Such a
time for
great
you to go to
song.
bed, but you're just,
Mm-hmm.
you can't.
Mhm.
You can't sleep. You can't. I'm so tired. I want to, but
Oh,
No,
and then when it
I'm-
goes from that
yeah,
into the heavier, oh man,
yeah.
yeah, that's one of my favorite Beatles songs of all time. Honestly, that's high up there. We need to do a show where we pick our top like 25 or something. It'd be so hard because there's so many great songs, but that's definitely high in my list.
I think that would be another good show that we can look into.
Because it's
I really
funny when we
need
did our
to-
Beatles show. This was a lower album for me on my Beatles set when we picked all ours out of 12, how we'd order them.
Oh,
But
really?
this definitely has a handful of my most favorite Beatles songs on it, too. It's funny.
You know,
this
I
was
wanted. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say that this, the White Album has always ranked high for me. It's always been in the top 3. Sometimes it's my number 1.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's my number 2. And sometimes it could be my number 3. Because that, Abbey Road, and Revolver interchange for me.
I was trying to find my list from when we did that show, and I think this was like number 5 or 6 for me because I like some of the
Yeah.
other weirder stuff better, but I don't know. This one's such an interesting album because this was their one. Like, obviously, this is their first album after Epstein dies. This is their first and only double album, and then this is their first album where each song sticks to the genre that they were aiming for, which they weren't doing really. All the other like weirder experimental stuff, they were
There are a lot of changes
mixing
within the song.
genres, and the songs moved around a lot more. And this one,
But
they actually stay in that lane of what they were going
yeah.
for.
And also, was this the first thing released on Apple?
Yep, yep. So this is the joke. Apple Core Records. It's a pun. And Apple Core it was Beatles Limited, and then Apple Core forms in January of '68. And Paul was inspired by a painting, which is funny because they had a friend that was an art dealer, Robert Fraser, who they called Groovy Bob. And he came in when they were recording something out in the garden. They were filming something for somebody else. And Groovy Bob left this Rene Magritte, which is like a famous French painter, left this painting on his coffee table and just disappeared. Like, didn't. And Paul found it later. And that was the inspiration for the Apple Core Records because it was just a green apple. And it says au revoir. The au revoir is like the to see you again. But the name of it, what was the name of the painting? It's in French. My brain doesn't want to work. I'll think of it.
All right.
But it's about dying. It's the guise of dying or something like that is the translation of what the painting it says, the name of the painting anyway. But I thought that was such an interesting thing that he's like not even in the house and the guy just like goes in his house and leaves a painting by a super famous French painter, and it's an original. And that's the inspiration for all of like Apple Records. It's crazy.
That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that concludes our show for tonight. What y'all think about? We'll talk about that later. But we just dissected pretty much the White Album, what we would keep, and what we would take away. We all kind of agreed on quite a few songs that we would keep. It seems that certain songs kept on coming up, and we can see why. They were kind of on the lighter side of songs, which is what becomes filler. But really, all the songs on here can be great in their own way, somehow, some way. So, what do you got going on, Charles, in the next couple of days of podcast releases?
Tomorrow, our top 11 favorite debut albums of all time on the BS Sessions. Got an extra special episode of Taylor Swift Folklore review out there. Got Mark, pulled him by the leg to get him to listen to Taylor Swift instead of just making fun of her. And listen to somebody before you clown them. And that's a fun episode, though. Don't make that face, Mark. This week we also got coming out. What's the one coming out this week, Mark?
Operation Mindcrime redo, because I did it before and then we did it all together with the Mooger Fruger.
So we always got something going on those two, because we had 2 episodes drop last week. Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In. Taylor Swift might be better than that. Little spoiler alert, but that's not hard to do. I think me and me on my guitar, Mark playing on a trash can or something, we probably could make better music.
Dude, I like that freaking Poison album way better than that Taylor Swift album, dude. Yeah. I ain't never gonna go listen to that album again. I'll pull out Look What the Cat Dragged In anytime I want.
Really, you didn't like Folklore that much? I really
listen to the podcast.
I wanted to hear Folklore first because I hadn't heard.
You might be surprised at some things that I said. You might be like, "Oh, there he goes," but you never know.
Al, what's going on with you?
Nothing, just same old shit here. In another couple of weeks, I'll be down in Florida for good. So,
starting when?
What's that?
Starting when are you going to be down in Florida for good?
The week after Labor Day. So,
Okay.
yeah, Labor Day, and then the week after that, I'll be moving out for good. I got a, um, I took a new job down there, so I'll be starting that like the mid September towards like the third half of September. So,
Oh,
the
great!
third
Well,
quarter.
congratulations
So,
on your new job. That's
Yeah.
great, man.
yeah,
You're gonna get more
thank-
swamp ass down there than you did where you were before. Just saying.
He's gonna have
I'm
to
about,
order those
I'm
butt
about
wipes
to,
from Costco.
I'm not gonna double up on the butt wipes, man. But anyway,
Buying in
um,
bulk.
Costco's going to be getting a lot of good business from me, man. For damn sure. Um, this Sat- this Saturday, I'm going to go check out Government Mule. They're doing a Dark Side of the Mule, where they're doing
Mm-hmm.
the Pink Floyd thing,
That'll be
and
cool.
Jason Bonham's opening up, so it's going to be cool. Zeppelin, and then
What-
Government Mule after that. It's going to be a good show. It's Saturday night, so it'll be a good Saturday night for me, and that's really it, man. I'm still this weekend. My parents are gearing up for an estate sale here in their house, so people coming in and just buying up all sorts of shit. I guess
Send me
And
those cool peacock curtains.
what you want them?
Those lace peacock curtains.
Yeah. I'll put them aside for you and I'll send them to you. But anyway, that's really it for me. Just been busy with kind of winding down my job here. I'll be
Mm-hmm.
here another couple weeks and then that's it. I'm gonna
Wow.
be going down and that's it, man. Be doing the shows from down there. So
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you down there in Florida.
thanks.
And Kate, what do you got coming up? Anything you want to share with us?
When are we doing girls, squirrels? We're doing a
We're
girls.
doing top 11 songs with girl in it.
Yeah.
The 24th, right?
Yeah, Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So, it's 8 days.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out my list. So I'll be on. What were we doing that on? BS.
BS, yeah.
I'll be on that, and I don't know if you're looking for a record. Hit me up. I got a lot going on. I'm a little crazy. We did a bunch of trips. New York was amazing. We went to Atlanta. I just got back from there on Saturday. Atlanta was really cool.
I just have to say, man, it was awesome meeting up with you in New York.
I know. Yeah, Al and I got to meet in real life, and we met in front of the physical graffiti building, and it was so
Yeah.
much fun. We
I
got
love
to
taking a
see.
picture of that.
Yeah, we went to a comedy show together, and yeah, New York's amazing. I mean, that's just hard to beat. It's such a cool city.
It really is.
We're
I'm
huge
gonna miss-
stand-up
I'm gonna-
nerds, so
I'm gonna actually miss it, man, when I move down there. But
yeah,
I'm gonna have to make a couple of trips up here once in a while to go back. So
yeah, definitely. Do a 4-day weekend and do. You can get a lot done really in a few days up
Well,
there.
he's
Yeah.
got hookups up there, man. He's got to
Yeah.
go back up there.
Yeah, because especially all your concert stuff that you
God
can get
damn.
away with up there, like
And the meet and greets
Yeah.
and
it's gonna be hard to walk away from that. But
sitting on the stage with the band while they play.
I mean, it's
Well,
so
you know,
cool.
man.
Like, go ahead,
No,
Al.
go ahead. No, I was just saying. I mean, I'll make new contacts down there, man. I won't have a problem with that. And,
Yeah,
know,
you'll figure
my
it out.
sparkling personality,
See,
You know
Just
what I mean?
hang out at radio stations. Hey,
yeah,
Yeah, right.
If I had a
They probably-
personality like you,
they probably
dude, I
live
wouldn't
out
have
there.
haters.
Yeah.
all right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. Thanks for
Andy, what do you got going on?
Who, me?
Yeah, what's your next? What's up next?
I do have a show coming up on Wednesday. It's going to be called. Hold on, I had the title. Oh, from classics to clunkers.
Oh, that's cute. That'll be fun.
Albums, clunker albums that were released right after a classic album.
Sophomore albums.
No, like just any bad album that came out after a classic.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
Metallica and Justice for All the Black Album. So some people
Yeah,
that's a clunker.
yeah.
Like
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah,
That'll be
so
a good
that's
one.
gonna be
Yeah.
Wednesday. And then after that, we'll go from there. But so far, it's going to be classics to clunkers.
It's next
It's
up.
going to be the next episode.
Okay.
All right, guys. I will see y'all later. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for going through this list. I think we really did tear apart the White Album. We went through really good tracks and some tracks that we can do without. Thanks a lot, Charles, Al,
You got
Thank
my
you.
man. What do you
Mark.
think I said?
Everyone needs to
Yeah,
listen to the Escher demos.
Yeah, it's pretty damn good. I like them.
yeah, I did too. I really do like the Esther demos.
Yeah.
I never thought when I heard that they were going to do the White Album, the acoustic side of it, I was like, what? And it's actually
Hmm.
damn good.
When they kept so many songs acoustic, like I said, they
Yeah,
just that's how they wrote them, and
that's where they kept
there's
them.
quite a few kept that way too, and they're
And then
good.
they came back to the studios and
Hmm.
worked them out and made some louder, made some very acid rock to them. All right, guys, thank y'all so much for joining me, and I'll talk to y'all during the week and see how everything's going. Charles, be safe. I'll be safe. Mark, be
Thank
safe.
you.
Kate, be safe. I'll
You
be
too.
seeing y'all later. And everybody, rock on and swing for the fences.
All right.
Take it
Yeah.
easy,
Have a great
guys.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Later. Bye.
night.
Hey, Kate.
Oh, we're still here.
Yeah,
There
okay.
we go. My thing wouldn't exit. All right, see you.